Since I first bought a car way back when I was 22, it's been nothing but an expense. You buy it, you put gas into it, you have to maintain it, and it gets old and cranky no matter what. And all it does is move you from one place to another. But what if I told you that very, very soon you might think of your car as a platform that can make you money on several fronts? What if those old cheesy car salesmen were right after all? What if your new Tesla really is an investment? Hey y'all, it's Dr. Know-It-All. I want to start off with a really big thank you for my Patreon patrons. This actually came directly from a conversation I was having with Talas MP, I think is how you say his handle on Discord. I asked him, he gave me permission to say that online. But anyway, this came directly from that. I was actually researching another video, which I will put out in the next few days. But this was such a cool idea, and we got to talking that I thought, yeah, let's just go ahead and make this video right away and talk about this because it's so awesome. And also, of course, credit to Cascades Academy for a recent video that kind of also triggered this entire conversation. So thank you to both of you for that. So anyway, let's start with ICE cars or legacy cars, right? Internal combustion engine cars. They're expensive. They're a depreciating expense that only really does one thing, which is to move you from place to place. So, right, you purchase it, you have to buy gas for it, you have to buy oil for it, you have to maintain it, you have to do yada, yada, yada. It costs you money over time. And of course, they're very expensive. So most of the time people take out loans to purchase them, which means that then they're on the hook for a long period of time, plus they're paying interest, etc. So anyway, cars are an expense and they really only cost you money. But of course, if you don't live in a city where mass transportation is very good, you kind of have to have a car. So it's like a necessary evil that you have to have. But a new era really is dawning with Tesla, and to be fair with other new EVs like the Ford F-150 Lightning. Sure, of course these new EV cars are transportation first, but they're also platforms that can do so many other things. Like the F-150 Lightning and hopefully the Cybertruck will provide vehicle-to-grid power if needed, which means if something happens to your house, you can actually reverse the current and you can suck power out of your battery in your car and into your house to power your house, either the essentials for a long period of time or everything for a short period of time. So yes, right at the moment, EVs are still mostly a transportation system, right? That's mostly what they do. But let's cast our minds forward a couple of years into the future. And by this, I really do mean just 2 to 3 years. I'm not talking about 10 or 15 years pie in the sky stuff. I'm talking about things that could happen really, really soon, maybe in 6 months. So, 2 to 3 years might be a long window for this. So Talas MP and I see 3 direct ways that your car, and of course, potentially your solar roof and Powerwall combined with that, can make you money rather than cost you money. The obvious thing that everybody has talked about a lot is robotaxis, of course. So if that gets going, that's completely dependent on Tesla solving full self-driving and or other companies doing that as well. But basically, if that happens, if this version 9 software is as good as Elon Musk and Andrej Karpathy, who's the head of Tesla's AI software team, say, and when Andrej starts saying it's really good, I start to believe it, because he's not on Elon time. He's a much more conservative person in terms of providing timelines and making big proclamations. So I tend to believe him in terms of the timing more than anyone else. But anyway, let's say it takes 2 years to not only get full self-driving working, but to also get regulatory approval. So that means that by 2023-ish, let's say, you could actually have your car, and the car that I currently have in the garage, well, outside the garage because I'm selling the house and the garage is full. But anyway, the car that I have at home right now, I could go to sleep or I could be working from home or I could take it to my office or something and I could push a button and Tesla could enable the car to go out and start picking people up just like an Uber driver or a Lyft driver or something like that, but with nobody in the car. And it could therefore be making me money while I was at work or while I was at home or while I was sleeping. Now, of course, the way this is going to work is that Tesla is going to take their cut because they're the ones who are going to develop the software. They'll be the ones keeping track of everything. More than likely, they'll probably provide some sort of insurance that you have to pay for out of the miles driven, et cetera, et cetera. But anyway, so they'll take their cut and let's say Tesla takes like, I don't know, 50%. Even if they take that much. And let's say it costs, say, like 60 cents a mile or something like that for people to take this car. That means that you could be making 30 cents per mile. So if your car drives just 10,000 miles during the course of the year as a robotaxi, that's $3,000 you're earning directly. And of course, Tesla's earning $3,000 also, so nice for them. And of course, you could get really, really aggressive and you could let the car drive, say, 100,000 miles or something like that. And so you could make $30,000 in a year. Or of course, if the prices are higher, like something like $1.50 or something like that per mile instead, then you could be earning 75 cents. So even 10,000 miles would earn you like $7,500. So while when you think about it, the robotaxi probably wouldn't make you a ton of money, it would more or less pay for the car. It wouldn't quite pay for the car, but it would pay for a lot of the car. Like if you took out a loan for 6 years or something like that, it would be paying most of that loan through robotaxi miles. And it's dependent very, very much on how much you make per mile, but it would make back at least a big chunk of what you were paying towards Tesla. And of course, the other thing that Tesla as a company can do is they can have their own fleet, so they can make all the money out of their cars. So, we'll see. It'll probably end up being some sort of a hybrid system for a while, whereas customers will be able to get in on their fleet, and it will be sort of a virtualized fleet where they'll have their own dedicated cars, but then they'll also have a bunch of humans that own these cars that also add to the fleet, and so they have a bigger fleet overall. So predicated on Tesla solving full self-driving and getting regulatory approval, robotaxis are a sure thing, and that will happen. And Elon Musk and Tesla have said that they're going to allow us consumers that own these cars to utilize them as robotaxis. Now, it is possible that the older models with the older batteries, they may not allow us to do that. We'll have to see how that goes. But at least new ones going forward will be allowed to do that, and that will make you money as you sleep. All right, so what about auto bidder software? Well, if you haven't seen my deeper dive into it, definitely check out that video. But basically, it's an energy arbitrage system where what you can do is you can purchase power, basically feed your battery and pull in power off the grid when it's cheap, like overnight, and then you can sell that power back to the grid, or alternatively, you can just power your home when energy costs are high and therefore you're not sucking power off the grid. So effectively, you're making money, or at least not spending as much. Now, of course, if you have solar panels and a power wall, you can do this kind of more efficiently, but you can also pull it straight from solar panels into your car as well. So there's many, many options with this, but basically auto bidder should be able to make you money even if you just have a Tesla. So what you would do is you would pull power into your car overnight when the rates are cheap, and then you would push it back into the grid during the day when they're very expensive, and that would allow you to make money to sell back to the electric company. Or alternatively, if you don't want to do that, because electric companies sometimes don't give you a good deal, you could just power your house and save money on your electric bill. So either way, that saves money, and it could be, up to hundreds of dollars per month, which could be $2,000 to $3,000 per year also. And of course, if you have solar panels and or a power wall, I guess you have to order both of those at the same time right now. If you have that, then you can do even better, because you can directly pull sunlight into your solar panels, make electricity, and power your car and or the power wall, and then you can really, really charge up. And so you can actually pull a whole lot more power in for free, basically, and then you can discharge that at other times to make money and or power your house, so you're not having to pay the electric company for your power bill. So robotaxis and auto bidder could each make consumers in the $3,000 to $5,000 per year category. So that's pretty nice, right? That means just having your car could earn you, say, $6,000 to $10,000 between those two. But what about category 3 that I talked about? Crypto mining. In other words, TeslaCoin, anyone? Now, of course, Tesla could allow their cars to mine any kind of cryptocurrency like Dogecoin or Bitcoin or Ethereum or Litecoin, etc., etc. But there really is a good case to be made for Tesla developing their own cryptocurrency. But let's talk about this more generally for just a second. So crypto mining depends on computers that have a lot of GPUs, or graphics processing units, which just so happen to be very, very similar to the inference engine, or hardware 3, that Tesla runs inside of its automobiles. And also, interestingly enough, these Teslas have 2 of them because they have to have redundant systems. So they have 144 teraflops, or tera floating point operations per second, which is a lot of compute power. Now, yes, you're not going to be able to mine Bitcoin at like 1 coin per week or something like that. It's going to take you a long time to mine Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is a very mature cryptocurrency at this point, so it takes a long time to mine a single coin. So I honestly think it would be unlikely for Tesla to let people mine Bitcoin. More likely they'd let people mine something like Dogecoin, which has a lot lower energy requirements because there's a lot more of the coins and it's a lot easier to mine it. But what would be even better would be if Tesla created their own cryptocurrency or partnered with somebody else to do it, like maybe they would with Dogecoin. But anyway, let's just call it TeslaCoin, and they can start off from ground zero. And again, if you don't know about crypto so much, watch my video on that, which goes into it in more depth. But basically, the early days, it's very, very easy to mine these coins. So let's say they had a total of like a billion of these Tesla coins out there eventually. The first like 100 million or so would be very, very easy to mine and very quick. And so you could utilize the hardware in your car to mine these coins. And then of course it can be put on crypto exchanges like WeBull. And you can check the link in the description, of course, to see how to join WeBull or Coinbase or other exchange mediums. But anyway, so people could trade it around, but if Tesla coin was designed right, only people who own Teslas would be able to mine it. And so it would restrict the number of people who could mine the coins to the people who own Teslas, which would reduce the amount of competition and allow Tesla owners to make a great deal of these coins, especially early on. And if we think back to the early days of Bitcoin, you used to be able to mine it on your laptop, and people would get hundreds or thousands of these coins, which were worth basically nothing at the time. And of course, if you kept them all these years, they would be worth millions now, right? So that would be the idea, is that you would get in on the ground floor, you'd be able to mine these things very, very easily, and you would collect a lot of Tesla coin. And then hopefully over years, 5 or 10 or whatever years, they would become worth quite a bit of money. So potentially, as opposed to that $3,000 to $5,000 per thing for like robotaxis and auto bidder, you could actually earn a significant amount of money with something like Tesla coin, or alternatively something like Dogecoin. And of course, people will complain about this. They'll say, hey, this is not a green thing to do. It's very energy intensive. But think about it. You've got these cars that are plugged in. You've got cheap energy rates at night. So this is not including solar panels or anything else. But let's say you plug your car in at night, and electricity, like I said, in my area is 1 penny per kilowatt hour at night because the demand is not there. So you're going to level out the demand because, of course, you're going to be pulling in a lot of power to do mining at night when it's very inexpensive. So you can charge your car a little bit, and or you can do some mining. And you could make a choice about how to balance those two things out. But basically, overnight, the car would be mining for you. And of course, by doing so, it's generating coins, which is money. And of course, if you have solar panels on your roof, like Tesla solar panels, then you can utilize that free power from the sun, which is generally more than you can use in your house in the afternoons and stuff, to be mining in your car at that time as well. Or potentially, if you have a Powerwall, they might maybe have a crypto mining add-on you could get, like a little thing you could buy for a couple thousand extra dollars, which is basically just the hardware 3 inference engine that's just attached to the Powerwall itself. So you could mine directly from the Powerwall and not even have to plug your car in at all. So anyway, that's in some ways the most far-fetched of the 3 options, but it's also the one that could potentially make people very, very wealthy over time. So I really hope that Tesla at least lets us mine things like Doge or Bitcoin or something like that. And I would really like it if they would introduce TeslaCoin for us, because that would be a really nice boon for the people who own Teslas. Overall, between robotaxis, auto bidder, and crypto mining, a revolution is coming. No longer are we going to see our vehicles as energy and money leeches. They will actually become significant sources of revenue, and we will make the rich person's dream come true. We will be able to make money while we sleep. All right, I hope you found this episode fun and informative and thought-provoking. It certainly made me think a lot. I was just like, wow, what a cool idea. If you did, please do like it so other people can find it, since YouTube's AI algorithm depends on that. And of course, consider subscribing if you like this kind of content. As always, a huge thank you to my patrons on Patreon. You all are wonderful. I mean, this is the kind of thing that would not have happened were it not for a conversation on Discord with a Patreon patron. So thank you all so much. I really do appreciate it. And don't forget about WeBull, which is a stock and crypto trading platform. If you look in the description, you click on the link and open an account, you get one stock valued at up to $250. And if you fund the account with $100 or more, you get a second free stock valued at up to $1,600. So that is a fantastic deal. Check it out in the description. And of course, don't forget about our merch store, which has awesome t-shirts like Tesla Rockets for the People, Don't Mess with Tesla, other t-shirts, tumblers, mugs, etc. So check out the link in the description. And finally, don't forget we are Tesla and Amazon affiliates. If you look in the description, you can see how clicking on a link and going shopping helps the channel. Thank you. And as always, feel free to ask me questions in the comments or at my email address, which is drknowitallknows@gmail.com. Till next time, bye-bye.